Now if you happen to watch part 1 on this lens test, I took 30 pictures and you saw all 30. I didn't hold back any that didn't turn out, and you saw them just the way they came out of the camera. They weren't photoshopped in any way. Today, however, is going to be different. There's no way that I can show all the video that I'm going to be taking here. Unless I tell you otherwise, all the shots are handheld. And the reason being is I want to see how good the vibration reduction system is in this Nikon lens. Okay, right now the anti-shake is on. I'm shooting at 70mm. And 4/100ths of a second, f8, 140 ISO. I'm just seeing how steady I can pan here by hand. I can feel that my hands are shaking. I am 67 years old and I'm not as steady as I used to be. Okay, right now I'm at 200mm. I'm holding it as still as I can, but I'm starting to vibrate myself here. Okay, 4/100ths of a second, f8, 140 ISO. Sorry about all that noise you're getting in the background. On the other side of that berm is a busy freeway. Okay, we'll see how that is. Okay, right now I'm about 5 feet away from that anthill. I'm going to push the focusing button just right now. And I'm holding it as still as I can here at 200mm. So we're shooting at f8, 140 ISO, and it looks like 4/100ths of a second here shutter speed. At 30 frames a second, by the way. Okay, right now I got it at 105mm. And it's 2/100ths of a second, f8, 125 ISO. I'm having a hard time holding this thing still. I'm shaking pretty good here. Okay, now you should remember this from yesterday. I'm sort of shooting into the sun. 4/100ths of a second, f8 at 100 ISO. And this is as steady as I can hold the camera. And it's 200mm. My arms were getting progressively more and more tired here. My shoulders were even starting to hurt. You know what? I'm going to give it a tripod test here. Right now it's on the tripod. Now Nikon claims that this anti-vibration system also helps for panning. So I'm going to try and pan very slowly here and see if it will help my unevenness. Now mind you, I do have a pretty good head on this tripod. Nikon claims that it's supposed to sense when you're panning. And I'm panning about as slow as I can possibly pan. Oh, by the way, it's at 200mm, 4/100ths of a second, f6.3, 100 ISO. Okay, again I'm doing the handheld thing. Holding it as still as I can. 200mm, 2/100ths of a second, f8, 160 ISO. And I can feel my hand shaking pretty good. Okay, my bottom line on this test is that Nikon's vibration reduction system really does work. While I was doing those video tests, I could see the front of the lens moving around a bit, even though I was holding the camera as still as I could. As I said before, I'm not as steady as I used to be.